All across Canada, the First Nations people, we have sacred grounds. We have sacred places. And those places need to be protected.
So in taking on the role of conveners and facilitators, the Indigenous Circle of Experts was able to collect a diverse array of contributions from Indigenous peoples, which were sourced from their traditional territories, from their traditional lands and waters, from their relationships with Mother Earth, from their rights and responsibilities.
One of the other teachings from our ancestors was that Mother Nature will provide for our needs, but not our greed.
The Indigenous Circle of Experts has been assembled to say to the governments of Canada, this is our best advice, and these are our recommendations on how you can fulfill your targets and your commitments to the international community in the spirit and practice of reconciliation with Indigenous peoples in Canada.
One of the major tasks of the Indigenous Circle of Experts was to be conveners, to be facilitators, to an extent to be visionaries in helping to create an expansive space for the emergence of Indigenous protected and conserved areas in Canada.
If our environment is healthy, wouldn't we not be healthy as well?
Everything has to have respect, or it's not going to work right. Today's world needs more of my ancestors' ways and my ancestors' teachings, and number one of it all is respect.
We see IPCAs or tribal parks as opportunities to maintain relationship with our lands and waters and to create sustainable livelihoods in a way that's consistent with the values and principles of our ancestors.
The land sustains us. There's an energy, a power, a spirit that comes from the land. It confirms we are of the land. It is our identity. This is the spirit of who we are, why we're in the universe.
If Indigenous cultures can continue to thrive into the future, then you're doing something right, because the land is so central to Indigenous cultures that if you have a healthy culture, then the land will be healthy as well.
If we do not take care of the earth, then we will not survive. That's why the leadership of Indigenous people is absolutely paramount in terms of coming to terms with the way that we are treating the earth.
It would be very easy to achieve Canada Target 1 if reconciliation can truly happen between the Crown and the Indigenous nations who have since time immemorial and who continue to steward and protect their lands and waters. So where we need to go from here is we need to continue to move forward in a careful way. In order for us to be able to achieve Canada Target 1 by December 31st, 2020, we're going to have to figure out a way for the governments to appropriately recognize Indigenous protected and conserved areas.
I think we're past the being advisory roles. We now need to be in the management and the authority positions. Like, it's time now that we work together. It's just time. We need to preserve the woods, we need to preserve our animals, and we need to preserve our way of life. So it isn't only about us as people, it's about the world, it's about the animals, it's about everybody.
The recommendations of the final report of the Indigenous Circle of Experts are intended to be transformative. We're asking for systems change that is much, much bigger than placing recommendations within an established framework and saying that's good enough.
As long as the grass grows, the river flows, and the sun shines. Built into the constitutional DNA of this country is the idea of respecting the land, respecting the water, and respecting one another.